Welcome to 1 Minute Wins with Dr. Dana Martin, the podcast where intentional growth meets practical leadership. One quote, one lesson, one action to help you lead yourself and others better. Let's jump in. Welcome back to 1 Minute Wins. I am Dr. Dana Martin, and today's 1 Minute Win number 54, be bold. We're going to start with a truth that most people don't want to admit that they feel, and that is that comfort feels safe. But comfort rarely moves. Comfort does not create progress. Our quote today comes from Virgil. Fortune favors the bold. And that statement has survived centuries for a reason. Boldness changes trajectories, not recklessness, not arrogance, boldness. So today we're talking about why progress rarely happens inside of your comfort zone and what bold leadership really looks like. And so this is the main point of our lesson today. Progress rarely happens in the comfort zone. Comfort preserves, but boldness advances. Leaders who wait for certainty miss opportunity, and leaders who move with conviction create it. Boldness doesn't mean having zero or no fear. It means acting despite it. And in leadership, hesitation is often more costly than action. Every breakthrough, career, organization, culture, required someone to step forward before they felt fully ready. I once coached a leader facing a difficult conversation they had to have with a high performer, and the problem was that the high performer was damaging to the team culture. They delayed, but they justified. They hoped the issue would resolve itself, and it didn't. The leader found themselves lost, thinking it would just slowly over time work itself out. And when they finally chose boldness, right? Clear expectations, direct conversation, firm boundaries. When that conversation is had, that culture shifts almost immediately. The problem wasn't capability for this leader. It was hesitation. And that hesitation led to more and larger issues. Bold leadership created the clarity, and clarity restored momentum. Yes, there's that clarity word again. Here's a little bit of research to support this. A study published in the Journal of Organizational Behavior found that leaders who demonstrate proactive behavior, that's taking initiative rather than waiting for direction, significantly increases team performance and innovation outcomes. Additionally, research on psychological safety by Amy Edmondson shows that teams perform better when leaders model courageous communication, especially in difficult moments. Boldness creates safety when it's rooted in integrity and clarity. I'm going to say that again. Boldness creates safety when it is rooted in integrity and clarity. I mean, the data is clear that proactive leaders outperform reactive leaders. Here's another quote I like by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. You see, fear doesn't shrink by just thinking about it. It shrinks by confronting it. Boldness builds confidence, and confidence then, of course, builds momentum. We're in, 54? And there are some common themes that show up nearly every 2 to 3 episodes about clarity, about confidence, about momentum. I think there's a pretty good reason why all of these things continue to show up in our talks. Leadership demands forward movement. If you're not moving, you're standing still, and everyone around you is standing with you. But if you're moving, everyone moves in the same direction, you're unstoppable. And there's been moments in my own journey where boldness felt very risky. Launching something new, having the hard conversations, taking responsibility in uncertain situations, and uncertain by outcomes, I mean. Every time I hesitated, all that did was grow my anxiety. And every time I acted, I felt like I had just popped an antihistamine and there was this clarity that followed. Boldness didn't eliminate that challenge, but it eliminated the stagnation. And progress started the moment that action did. And this is how we can practice bold leadership intentionally. 4 steps. 1, identify the avoided action. Really sit back and think about it. You already know what this is. You've probably got a handful of them, but just pick one. Number 2, clarify the outcome that you want. Boldness should be purposeful, not impulsive. Number 3, communicate directly and respectfully. Courage without clarity becomes chaos. And number 4, move before that comfort arrives. Comfort is rarely the starting point. So how do we do this? 1, identify the avoided action. 2, clarify the outcome you want. 3, communicate directly and respectfully. And number 4, move before the comfort arrives. See, boldness is discipline. It's not a personality trait. So, what bold step could you take right now? Not next month, not when I feel ready. Just do it right now. What conversation, what decision, what action have you been postponing? The action for today is simple. Do that. Do it today. And don't wait for permission from anyone other than yourself. And do you really need to ask yourself permission to do something? Send that message. Schedule the meeting. Have the conversation. Make the decision. That boldness will begin to compound. Bold leaders don't just change the outcomes, they change the culture. When leaders act decisively and ethically, teams gain confidence. When leaders hesitate indefinitely, the teams stall. Courage at the top, it creates momentum throughout the entire organization. And realize boldness isn't about ego. It really is about moving the needle. It's about progress. It's about going out and getting out of that comfort zone. If this episode pushed you forward, share it with someone who may need that little extra nudge. And you can find more resources, coaching information, or connect with me on dmilm.com or pick up the book 1 Minute Wins, Volume 1, Take Control of Your Growth Journey, one minute at a time on Amazon. And as always remember, be the example.